have brought me water.
I was gonna get you one. Yes, sir. You saved my life, man. You saved my life. So it worked. It worked perfectly. You know, we bought the 40 Davidson building in Clayville. So we got 3 new AC units, 3 new 510 units.
Does this mean
What's up, man?
share this?
Oh, your brother?
Or you can share with him, share with me.
So
I'm not gonna look at it anyway. I got this.
I may have to look at it because my eyesight.
came back in.
Why aren't you wearing glasses?
They had no
I forget them.
inside.
They're just, I need a
Why don't you go get
The welder had the welder that working outside.
Oh, you need
So they should have shut
Well,
off.
I mean, I don't have, I can see them on this, I
Turn
just
it
can't
up.
see it.
So the alarm's gonna
I can't either. That's why
no
the beats
clue.
are like that.
Oh, really?
Bipolar.
He walked me through.
I don't even mind having the line.
I left home, went up there and got everything done exactly as he said. It worked perfectly.
FaceTime gets really good.
It does.
I've got to go back to the retina doctor. I'm having an issue with my left eye. It wants to turn out because my right eye is prominent and my left eye is not focusing. It's okay. My health is good, so I got
We can deal with a little bad, we can deal with a little bad eyesight.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Gentlemen, how you feeling?
A whole lot, but
Good,
still can't see worth it.
good. You see how many fingers I'm holding up?
You don't need to see it.
I'm having to read.
Yeah, it's completely different. Look at that. I have not got all, and here's another one. The sewer base, I could be 2877. See, they put theirs in, that right there is equivalent to 42 cents. Because that's the average amount. It's their fees are either $30-something a month, $80-something a month, depending on. That's the average fee.
All right, so I got 5:30. Oh, that's a month.
Yes.
Check. Okay. Yes. So I've got 5:30. If everyone would like to please be seated.
What are you saying? I will.
I'd like to call to order this Board of Mayor and Alderman special call meeting for Monday, June 23rd, 2025. Please note that everyone is present. If everyone will please stand for the opening prayer by Vice Mayor McKee, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and this opportunity we have to come and serve you, dear God. Be with each and every one of our employees, the school board, the school teachers, all that. All our first offenders, our police department, and our fire department, and all of our staff. Dear God, be with our employees that work every day out in this heat, that they be careful and keep your hand upon them. Be with us in this meeting tonight, dear God, that we will do what you would want us to do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Ruff, will you lead us in the pledge, please, since you came out on this nice Monday, cool night? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Again, I want to thank ACS for opening up the building for us. I did tell them I hope that it's not going to be quite as long as the last meeting that we were here.
Wow, I just told him it'd be longer.
Well, I see there's already waters out here, so I guess we're going to get moving. So we have new business. We have item A. This is just a public hearing. It's not a voting item. So do you need to say anything before we get going, or just need to just have the public hearing? Okay. So I need a motion and a second for a public hearing on the town's intent to exceed the certified tax rate for fiscal year 2026. Motion by Mr. Barker, second by who's over here, Mr. Biggs. All right. So now we are on. Why do I need a motion?
You just, at this point, we're just gonna have a public hearing of our notice of intent to exceed the certified tax rate, and it's not a voting item. So you just needed a motion.
Yeah, it confused me because it says need a motion on this, and so
Suspend the meeting and open the public hearing, and then you'll you'll have to close the public hearing and open the meeting again.
Okay, so
You need a motion to suspend?
I need a motion to suspend, but I don't know why we needed a motion to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
Let's
kinda
just do
confused.
it.
Oh,
Okay, all right, then
We're
let's
good
do it
then.
that. So we are now in the public hearing to, the intent to exceed the certified property tax rate for FY 2026. This public hearing was published in the Daily News on May 30th, 2025. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this request, please stand and be recognized. And just for the record, we have several public hearings tonight, so if there's anyone here that is here to speak on this one or one of those others in particular, you can speak at those at that time also if you'd like. But this is just the intent to exceed the certified tax rate. That's what the public hearing's for. Is anyone here to speak on this one? Yes, sir. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
I'm not doing Marco Rubio tonight. Put my water up here for, I got a few things to say. I'm gonna try to add with this best I can. I'm Ray Bryant. I've lived in Arlington 52 years. I'm 73 years old and, seen this town grow more than I wanted to. My busy street of Campbell Street is, like a runway on the airport almost. But anyway, talking about the public hearing for this, raising the tax limit to 113, I think it is. Is that correct, Ms. Mayor?
Yes, sir. This public hearing is just to exceed the certified tax rate.
113, okay. Well, I talked to Kathy Durant before I came to this meeting, and, because I'm not on social media, don't even have it on my phone, don't use it. But she informed me a little bit about what was happening, and to my surprise, y'all are going to be using up a large portion of your rainy day fund, your $19 million fund in the bank. Is that correct, Mayor?
Yes, sir. We don't, yeah,
Okay.
we don't.
If that's what you're going to do, I'm opposed to that. Okay? I do not like using rainy day funds for public projects that are that are used for the town regular budget. I know the 113 is lower than the 128 that we were accustomed to. Most people, I think, misunderstood this as being increase in the assessors 113 that y'all are trying to certify tonight. I really don't like the idea of the town doing that. And if our town needs any equipment, specialized equipment, or major repairs to equipment, or things that y'all haven't budgeted for. I haven't seen your line item budget, by the way. I would like to get a copy of that before I leave. But I don't have any objection to 113, but I would be even willing to say that if you're going to have to use that money out of our rainy day fund, I'm opposed to it. And I'd rather see it go up to 115 or something like that to make it through. I'm just real hesitant. I know there's people that have some high-priced homes in this town, or this city, whatever you call it now. Excuse me. That is just not acceptable to me. I'm on a fixed budget, by the way. I'm like a lot of people here in Arlington that been here a long time. I'm retired and on a fixed budget, and so for a couple of $100 extra or something like that for me to pay to the city to keep things stable and not use any of our after rainy day fund, I call it. You may call it something else. I don't know. I just don't like that idea. But I'm not here to oppose the 113. I'm here more or less to say that if you need to raise it to $1.15 later on in the year, I wouldn't be opposed to that either. And I would like to add one more thing since I'm here. And this is not, I know it's not the public hearing that I want to speak about, but it's about the way you notify people about a public hearing. And I've talked to this group, maybe not this, all of y'all that are sitting here now, but I had before. And that is, I don't like putting anything, a notice in the Commercial Appeal or the Daily Memphian, because not everybody in this town gets the darn thing. And if you're gonna put something out, I'd prefer you put it on a postcard and send it to us, and not try to put it in a magazine nobody gets, or few people get. And that's really about all I have to say. Appreciate your time. Good to see Mr. Baker. I don't know you personally. Glad to have you with us. Mr. Riggs, same to you. I don't think I met you before. Oscar and Harry and Jeff, I've all met and loved you, Gary, we all know, but thanks for listening to what I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak on the public hearing, on this particular public hearing? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Mr. McKee, second by Mr. Biggs. Did I hear that? Yeah, okay. All right, so that item's closed, and we are through with the public hearing for that. Just real quick, Mr. Baker, because I'm not sure what's gonna be covered tonight. I wasn't understanding your question on that we intend to use the majority of our $19 million. That's not the case. It's a very small portion that we are purchasing some items out of. We're not going into our reserve funds to balance the budget. So I just want to make that clear. And two, just so you know, on the public hearing, we can't send a postcard out to, 5,000 homes because we have public hearings all the time. So we do it, and we have to advertise legally in that way, but we also, I know you don't have social media, but we have a website, and you can sign up for like email notifications or something from the website, I think, on that aspect. So if you have trouble with that, you can get with Ms. Owens or something after the meeting. She'll tell you how to do that, and it'll help you notify that. So I just want to make sure that was clear. All right, on to old business. Item A, second and final reading of ordinance 2025-04 to further amend the Town of Arlington, Tennessee budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025 by the final set of amendments. We do have a public hearing on this. Mrs. Owens.
Yes, sir. This is your final set of budget amendments for fiscal year 2025. There has been a few changes between first and second reading. The majority is just cleanup of line items. We did take in some development fees which were one-time revenues between your last meeting and tonight, so that's the majority of change in your revenue. And staff recommends approval, and we're available for any questions.
You've heard the recommendation by Mrs. Owens. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Barker,
Second.
second by Mr. Biggs. Now we have to have a motion to suspend this motion and open a public hearing. Do I have a motion? Motion to suspend by Vice Mayor McKee.
Second.
Second by Mr. Brooks. We are now on the public hearing for the second and final reading of ordinance 2025-04 to amend the Town of Arlington budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. This is the final set of amendments. This was published in the Daily News on May 30th, 2025. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this request, please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Is anyone here to speak on this particular request? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing and resume?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. McKee, second by Mr. Brooks. We're back on the main motion. Does anybody have any discussion on the budget amendments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That item passes. Next up, item B, second and final reading of ordinance 2025-06 of the Town of Arlington, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and board compensation for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026. We do have a public hearing on this. I did ask Mrs. Owens to since we did the presentation last month, I guess she has some slides if we need them, but we didn't think we needed to go through the whole presentation again, because nothing has changed between the first and second reading as far as what staff is proposing. So, do you have anything to add before we get a motion on the floor, Mrs. Owens? All right, so do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. McKee,
Second.
second by Mr. Barker. Discussion.
This is on item B.
This is item B.
Okay.
We do have a public hearing,
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
we can, there's a public hearing on everything. So I have a motion, let's get on the public hearing. Do I have a motion to suspend the meeting and open the public hearing?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor McKee, second by Mr. Brooks. We are now on the public hearing for second and final reading of ordinance 2025-06. This was published in the Daily News on May 30th, 2025. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this request, please state your name and address for the record. Is anyone here to speak on this particular public hearing? They're all kind of tied together, but
Motion.
Do I have a motion to close? Vice Mayor McKee to close the public hearing and resume the meeting? So, and Mr. Brooks is the second. So we are back on the main motion. Now, item B, Mr. Biggs, were you wanting, you?
No.
Huh?
I'm
You-
going
you-
last.
Oh, okay, so
I
we're
didn't
on
know, I
item
didn't know
B.
you were back on, we're back on the main motion. I didn't know if
Alright,
that's
okay.
what you were
Yeah.
waiting on.
So you want me to go ahead?
You were asking, I didn't know if that's what you were wanting. Whoever, I mean, whoever's.
We're back on the main motion.
Okay. I'm just making sure you're asking me if I'm.
Yeah, if you're
Okay.
wanting to, if you wanna wait. we
I'm
can
not
go to
really
someone
gonna
else.
say a lot because I said it at the last meeting and nothing's really changed. You know, it's not really so much the budget as it is the tax rate. And I kinda went through all that last time with how we have historically predicted our sales revenues. And, you know, taking into the fact that the expanded growth, even since our last audit, we've had new businesses open. And the amount of money that we have in reserves, we are very safe. And then, I just mentioned last time quickly that, you know, I just feel like our biggest competition is really Fayette and Tipton County. That's where it seems like to me that people are leaving Arlington to go to. And so I'm just not in favor of a tax increase of this amount.
Discussion. Anyone? Mr. Harmon?
I guess I'd kind of echo what he just said. A lot of our competition is outside of Arlington and the county. And at this point right now, with the county tax that's gonna go up and the reappraisal, I think we owe to the citizens to kind of let the tide settle just a little. Let's see how that's gonna affect a lot of these families. And, I think, wisest thing to do would be to wait.
Other discussion?
I'm kind of where I was last month, which I've got a headache, so I apologize. I'm gonna keep this short. That I felt like we had come to a good middle ground at our work session at $1.10 and being able to absorb some of those costs in our reserve fund that would keep us at that and just try to keep the tax increases minimal as possible. And if we have to come back as a board and amend that at a later date and we're proven wrong, it wouldn't be the first time in our lives that we had to do that. But anyways, that's where I would be comfortable at, but the proposal's 113, so.
So, yeah, last month, I guess, nobody, in the last 2 months really, since the work session, there hasn't been any motions or directions for staff. And if, I'm with all three of you. I mean, nobody likes it. But my concern is where staff is, knowing, like, just talking about the road, one of the road projects we thought was gonna be a few $100,000, maybe upwards close to $1 million now, that outside of what we've already thought it was. Items like this that, staff, I mean, we have already lowered it to $1.13. Staff's recommendation was $1.16. And I know we're the ones that set the budget as far as that, but they're the ones who have to operate within that budget. And I know Mr. McKee I know he's gone around and talked to some of the department heads.
All of them.
Yeah, and I've talked to quite a few, and, I mean, there's some discomfort, which, I get, and that's what, when we talk about now or later, I'd rather make sure we're okay now and have to adjust it next year if we can. We can change it next year if we needed to, up or down or whatever, if we're right or wrong. But that's kind of where I am, because I just, staff, we can sit up here and cut it down to $1.05 or $1, but then we're tying the hands of our departments. And I know some things we need to do in town, and we need to be able to do them. And we've said we would revisit the fund balance policy. Just for Mr. Baker, I don't think you know, our fund balance policy's 100%, minimum of 100% of our budget, and our budget's what, about 18 and a half this year, and we've already with these amendments and stuff, dip below that just a little bit. So we've had that policy in place for years, and we've already said we're gonna probably revisit that. We don't wanna start using it different, but as our budget and the town grows, we can't expect it to have 100%. So we may, whatever that, the board comes up with that number for the future, we'll revisit that probably this fall or before next budget season. And just a few things about the budget also. I've talked with staff, and I know I talked to some of y'all that, you know, this one's a challenging one because it's a reappraisal year, large reappraisal year. Most of the time, budget kinda, when we go through the finance process, it's pretty smooth. We come in with the number and it gets cut and we make the changes, but, we have discussed about some ways, and we'll talk more about it, that we need to maybe get a little more involvement early in the budget. So we're not sitting here at the 11th hour on, like when we had that first reading, we had to go back and do a work session. We need to probably have the work session before. So it's probably the first time we've had to do that since I've been in office like this. So we're gonna reevaluate a few things and try to make it a little more comfortable for everybody to, so we're not here at the last minute trying to, because like I tried to explain to some people today, this is the 8th meeting we've had on this. So hopefully it's, I know some people's minds are made up and some are on the fence, whichever, but I understand everybody's rationale. So I just wanted to just kind of say a few of those things.
I
Anybody else?
forgot something.
Okay, go ahead.
That's completely different. Did not talk about this last month, but I meant to and I forgot. One thing, kind of on this subject, that I talked to Kathy about, I don't know, maybe a month ago or so. And so Terry's here, and so I wanted him to hear this, but I would like, before we go into the next budget, before we have to do this again, I would like a breakdown of what we spend on sidewalks, because we know how much money we put in public works, but, some of it goes to roads, some of it and I've just seen lately us repairing a lot of sidewalks. I saw 4 days on Hayes Road, and, on Hayes Road, crews out there for 4 days, and I'm like, man, how much are these sidewalks costing us? So I think it'd be good information for us to have, like a breakdown of, just so that we know how much we're spending on sidewalks, and we can kind of foresee that in the future, and maybe, revisit that policy. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with everybody when I was thinking about it.
If I may, forgive me, I'm a little hoarse. I've been in meetings for the last 5 or 6 days, and my voice sounds like I'm about 13, so I apologize. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate personally. This is my first time going through this process with, from a town budgeting perspective. I've done budgets for the last 25, 30 years, and you all did a yeoman's work. I know you were trying to find every penny, dime, nickel, and quarter that you could to meet all the expectations from us and from the community and everybody else. I think Kathy and Brittany and everybody, you all did a wonderful, wonderful job getting us to this point. Whether we agree with the rate or not, I think the work that you put in and the effort that you put in, it shows and it speaks volumes. So thank you all.
Yep. Second that.
Anyone else? Mr. Brooks, Mr. McKee? Harry always likes to go last, you know that.
No, he pinned me to go last.
Oh, now you're pointing the finger.
Yeah. I didn't
Last
say
meeting.
anything. Oh,
Oscar, do you have anything you want to say? You
No,
good?
I've been looking at Kathy for a lot of years doing this, and every time we go to raise taxes, it gives me heartburn. Because when I reach into your pocket, I'm also reaching in my own pocket. When I first run for office in 2003, there were some things going on in this town I did not like, and we were paying for things that I did not need. And we continue to do some of those things, but I understand the big picture. I see the big picture. But it hurts me just as much as anybody in this room to reach into your pocket and say, I need a little more money out of you this year. I know the number doesn't reflect the tax increase per se, but in reality, it's a tax increase. Property values went up. We're reaching into your pocket for more money than what they say we need. So it's a tax increase. Any way you want to look at it, it is a tax increase. I want to be clear on that. The one time I did not mind raising your taxes was when we added the fire department. That was a big discussion that year, and we had a debate or a forum, a candidates forum per se, and everybody up there was all for the fire department, building the additional fire department. The entire discussion surrounded building the additional fire department. Nobody said how they're gonna do it. They just said, yeah, we're gonna do it for you. Lo and behold, guess who was the last one to get up? So I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna pay for it with your tax dollars. We're going to raise your taxes. And we had to raise them that year. I understand government needs to grow at times to handle the services provided to the people. I get it. I don't like it any more than anybody else that hates to have their taxes raised. That's why I hate to sit up here and do this sometimes. But when there's a true need, I will, because it's what's best for the entire community. Trust me, it comes out of my pocket just like it does anybody else's. I pay the same rate as anybody else. I don't get any preferential treatment. So when I raise taxes for everybody else, I raise taxes for myself. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Vice Mayor McKee.
All right, I got two or three, then I'm gonna ask a couple of the, our directors that I talked to. I want their feelings on a couple of things too, but I remember 4 years ago, our big thing was reducing our loan, how much we owe. And it's down to 3.2%, which is the lowest in the state. But how you do that is be able to put money away to build that fire department and pay cash for it. And if we're gonna continue to do that, we're committed to a new town hall down the road, and we can't do it if it's so strapped that we can't even move. So we gotta understand some of this, that when you're saving money or when you're putting it in reserve, that money is gonna be used for other projects. And one of the things I wanted to ask Kathy, and by the way, I got Kathy to put these out on one, and what this is comparing all the other municipalities to us on fees. And if you'll notice, the town of Arlington is the only one that does not have a fee. If you look at Lakeland's, they're paying $50-some a month for a fire fee. That's equivalent to 42 cents tax. So you add that to the 84, and it's still above ours. But every one of them's got wheel tax or some kind of fee, and all that is a tax. But it's done during the year where nobody complains about it, because it automatically comes out. They don't even realize it most of the time. The other thing was, the comptroller, Kathy, when they're doing the certified tax and the comptroller and they're working together, do they consider that, let's just say Terry Perkins asphalt is doubled over the last 3 years, do they consider that? No. So that means Terry is, in $1.7 million, he's gonna spend, what we give him to spend on repairing the roads is gonna be about $850,000 this year, because it's going up almost twice, and labor too. But they don't consider that, is that correct? That's correct. Well, see, sometimes you can't go by exactly what the certified tax rate's saying what it should be, unless you don't want to give the opportunity for that. And you know, I'm going to touch on the subject that's not been brought up in here in the last two meetings. And I drove by, how long has Taco Bell been there? About going on 3 years now? I drove by there one day, and they had a big banner up there, and it said, we're hiring $15 to $17 an hour. Well, I called Kathy and asked her, what is our entry level? Believe it or not, it was less than that. But in Taco Bell, you could work in the air conditioning. If you work for Parks and Rec or Public Works, you're gonna work out in the, how do you keep people working for you at that rate when you can go to a fast food and work for more? And you gotta consider it. And in this budget here is $187,000, yes, for, let me make sure I got that right. I don't wanna say, $184,000. We have less than 100 employees work for the town of Arlington. And what we've done, we've made a market adjustment and increased pay. That is right at 3 cents right there. We've not even discussed that. Do I want to take that away? No, we've not even talked about that. We're not going to. No one has discussed it. But I'm not scared to bring it out to say that part of this budget increase is for our employees. And it was before this one. We did some benefits last year. But talking with the chief and talking with Terry and talking with Lee, it seems to be working because we're not having the turnover we did before. If you're continually training people where you're spending money. And the only two other things I got, I'm gonna ask Terry if he'll come up and let me ask him your question and let you go from there, if it's okay with our town administrator. I met with all four of them, and the department heads, but I didn't meet with Kathy or Brittany since the last meeting at all. And all I asked was, I want you to give me your opinion on your budget and how it's gonna affect the town of Arlington in your respective. And I asked him, actually, I asked him, each one of them, to just send me an email or text, and please make it less than a paragraph. Is that not right? And I didn't put any words in mouth, but I want you to tell them what you told me.
Okay. I'll just read what I sent to you.
Oh, okay.
In 2021, a new fire company was added, and departmental budgets had to tighten to ensure that could be funded, and nobody had any issues with that. I think we all felt like it was needed. Since then, the cost of operating public works, and I think all the other departments, I can speak for them as well, those costs have skyrocketed. Materials, equipment, parts, labor, have all continued to rise drastically as we have operated at the same tax rate. Even at the proposed 13-cent additional tax, it would be difficult, if not impossible, to continue to provide the same level of service when our tax dollars have a much lower buying power. I mean, everything has gone through the roof. I think we all see it when we go to the grocery store. But everything, materials, we get keeps, it seems like almost weekly that, materials and things have gone up. So it's just getting harder to keep up. I've run more lines, budget lines in the red, I think this year than I ever have in my career, just because things are going up and there's a lot to be done.
Thank you.
Anybody else got a question for him? That's exactly what he sent me. And Chief, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Listen, these guys didn't know I was gonna ask them until a few minutes before the meeting, and I said, I'm not gonna read what you sent, I want you to say it. Is that not true, Chief?
Yes, sir. Hope I don't get in trouble with Mr. Durant. Similar to, just like to echo Director Perkins, all the department heads struggle to make ends meet. We sit down with Mrs. Owens and Mrs. Durant way before we go to any finance meeting and present the budget to them, and they make cuts and we make cuts before it even gets to the finance committee. There are several things on our CIP that are constantly cut and moved down the road. I can speak for fire, and I'm sure every department head here has CIP projects that keep getting put off. Our operating costs too are exorbitant. Our EMS supplies are way up. You guys, out of your operating fund, just spent $1.3 million on 2 pieces of our fire equipment that was totaled on the interstate. We couldn't have done that had we not put money back in the rainy day fund to be able to do just those things. The same fire engine that 10 years ago cost $500,000 is now $1.2 million. So it's a struggle to keep our accounts balanced. Just like Director Perkins, I probably have 7 of my lines that I'm in the red this year. But we've been able to do some cost savings in a few of the other lines to try to balance that out. So we're still hoping to be in the black if Ms. Owens continues to work with us. But that was mainly due to cost savings on employee salaries and then an employee that had retired as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
That's all I got.
All you got? Well, I'll wrap it up then. Everybody, unless somebody else has anything else to say. Thank you all for being here. I know you guys work a lot. You ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. I say you guys. I lived in Colorado when I was a kid, and everybody said you guys. This chart I was just looking at that's on the screen. If you look at, like Mr. McKee said, everybody has some sort of fee once you get below like sewer fee, which you have to have those, but street light fees. I'm looking at the ambulance fee. We discussed that for Millington of $1,250. That would be $150 a year. That's probably more than what most, not with everybody, but on average, what a lot of the houses will pay with the taxing. And that's, like we said, we've had to adjust our tax rate on things outside of our control like that too. The fire fee in Lakeland, is a big jump. And then, I got 4 cars. I look at some of these places with the additional wheel tax.
And they may go more.
I'd pay, and that could go up at any time, not during the budget cycle. So That's the scary part.
But
So
that was a temporary
I
thing.
applaud this board for, I mean, I know it's probably gonna be an ongoing discussion, but we've always tried to stay away from that. And so I applaud the board. I don't think anybody's more transparent in what we actually pay than what we pay, because like Harry was saying, it's not always apples to apples. We can say the lowest tax or this and that, everybody can do it, but what are you really looking at when you're looking at the tax rate? So, I applaud our board for that, no matter how the vote goes down, how you vote. Everybody's entitled to their vote. I just want everybody to know that I applaud it, what everybody's goal is. And just one thing I want us to think about for next year and years, listening to the department heads. In years past, it's always been a challenge for the department heads to be able to come back to Kathy and Brittany and say, we didn't spend all of our money this year. We didn't spend all of our money this year. You know, we tried to save money for the town. The more we tighten their budgets, the more they're gonna go to the very end of that. So that's why sometimes when we look at previous year's budgets, it's not another apples to apples comparison, because they're trying to do it. Now they're like, we're so tight, we're gonna have to go all the way to our allotted budget per department. So I just want everybody to think about that when you really start breaking down the budget and you talk to them. You'll know that, like, hey, we didn't spend this, so we can, you know, hopefully, you know, next year we can still get the same amount. We're showing we're good stewards of money, but now they may, in the future, depending on how tight we are, they may have to say, we had to spend it all because we didn't have enough in the first place. So just everybody think about that as we move forward. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Just, I feel like after hearing Vice Mayor and Mayor speak, I want to be real clear on my point of view on this, which was that none of this had to do with employee salary packages, compensation, none of that. Where I was coming from was, if you weren't at the work session, just to kind of give you an idea, we had some dollars up there. Essentially, we were looking at 6 pennies of the budget, which equated to, how much is per penny?
80s.
80.
Your tax rate, but at $1.13, it's about 86,000.
Okay, so just 90,000, right? So, and Brittany and them went back and found 3 pennies to come off and do that. But my proposal, my thought process wasn't to reduce any compensation, salary, anything like that. I was actually looking at things out of the CIP budget that were in that $16, $13, and saying, hey, we're only talking about $300,000 or $400,000. Let's keep the dollars with the taxpayer and use the reserves that we are healthy in to buy those items out that we're gonna be budgeted for in the $13. So just so we don't walk out of here and thinking and trying to go, oh, well, these guys voted it against us for our compensation packages, things like that. That wasn't the dollars that I was looking at when I was trying to find a way to save the taxpayer their money as well. It was trying to use the money that we already have, to use that to get you guys what you are asking for, but it also at the same time not asking the taxpayer to increase their revenues. And so that's where I came to my recommendation, and that's still where I'm at. I feel confident that either way this vote's going to happen, that what you guys need for your staff members and out in the field every day is going to be there. But I just wanted to clarify that so that people love to take things and weave them in and out, especially on social media, to curb certain people certain ways, and that's not our intention at all, and I just want to be clear about that.
Duly noted. Any other discussion?
Hey, I can guarantee you one thing, every year when it comes budget time for me, I'm asking for 10% more than I got last year, because I know how things have crawled up, and it happens to me every year. So I get where you guys are coming from, I promise you I do. Material goes up, equipment goes up, labor costs go up, everything you got goes up. And it's hard to save a dollar from time to time, so I get it. I ask for 10% every year, some years I get it, some I don't. Those years that I don't, I can promise you I reach into the rainy day fund because something's going to happen. So I agree with keeping a rainy day fund stable and where it's at, so.
And that's just to Mr. McKee's point, it sounds easy, 86,000, I mean, it does sound, like per penny, but that's what, F-150? It's one truck for fleet, so, I mean, it gets tough, it doesn't go as far as we would think it would, so.
The only other thing I got, Mike, is we was talking about, the raises for the people, and it was a market thing. And if you wanna explain how we done it this year, Mike, instead of not necessarily doing it with people, our town the same size, but we compete with Bartlett, we compete with Collierville. Not just, and Larry will tell you, not just for firemen, it's for all employees.
No, so just quickly, yeah, we've discussed it before, I think, but it's, this does have market adjustments built in there. So basically, we didn't do a flat percent raise across the board for everybody, but this does give everybody a potential to have some sort of raise depending on where they were with the market adjustments or the performance evaluations, correct, Mrs. Durant? And so, and some of these were, like we said, when we do the MTAS studies, they compare us with a town of 12, 13, 14,000 in the middle of, on the Tennessee River that doesn't have a metro area. So that's why sometimes our salaries maybe haven't always been as competitive here. So we're still not, no offense, this where I don't want to, I'm not saying, you saying we're competing with Fayette County and all that, I'm not trying to say, so this is, we aren't Bartlett, Germantown, or Collierville, and we do compete with them, but we know we can't be competitive with everything they do, but we just have to be somewhat competitive. And so we're more on the line with Millington and Lakeland, I guess you'd say, in the area, even though Lakeland doesn't have some of the positions we have. And I think it's some fair adjustments, and it's much needed, and this will help us in the long run, because it'll help us budgeting wise for future years to know that we're right here. We have some salary scales that has, there's I think it's a good system that Brittany and Ms. Durant worked hard on and met with a lot of people on. So I'm excited that we're able to do that, but it was much needed, and it was probably needed several years before we were here. So anything else?
Just to clarify, we don't come up with those projections. Those are done
Yeah.
independently. with third
Sure.
parties.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, we don't just arbitrarily make a number. Any other discussion? All right, this is item B again. So let's do a roll call vote on this, because
Roll call vote. Harmon,
No.
Barkley,
Yes.
Jeff McKee,
No.
Brooks,
Yes.
Harry McKee,
Yes.
Biggs,
No.
Wisman.
yes.
4 yes, 3 no. Motion passes.
All right, on to item C. Second and final reading of ordinance 2025-05 to adopt the town of Arlington, Tennessee actual tax rate for 2025. This does have a public hearing. Do we need to do anything? Do you need to say anything, Mrs. Owens, or do you want me to just?
This is, yeah, since you just passed the budget, the budget does require $1.13 that was passed, so this is just approving the actual tax rate, so.
All right. You've heard the recommendation, Mrs. Owens. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Key, second by Mr. Barker. We do have a public hearing, so do I have a motion to suspend and open the public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Vice Mayor McKee, second by Mr. Biggs. We are now in the public hearing for second and final reading of ordinance 2025 to adopt the town of Arlington, Tennessee's actual tax rate for 2025. This notice was posted in the Daily News on May 30th, 2025. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this request, please come forward and be recognized. Again, this is just, so the budget basically has been adopted, so this is just the official setting the tax rate for that budget. So is anyone here to speak on the tax rate? I know it seems kind of redundant to do this 4 times tonight, but it's part of it.
Part of meeting the legal requirements.
Yes. Seeing none. So a motion to close the public hearing, resume the
Motion.
meeting? Motion by Vice Mayor
Second.
Key, second by Mr. Biggs. So I guess Gerald or Kathy, I guess, to be clear, because I know that the vote before this was the budget. So a vote on this, is it arbitrary for the ones that voted maybe against it? If they vote for it, is it this is really more of a formality now, or just?
If we don't approve it, then our budget is set upside down, which is the
If we don't-
gonna
yeah.
ping us for
So that's why I
not
just want to make
approving
sure, I
the
want to make
tax
sure everybody
rate.
knows what they're voting on, I guess what they're saying. I mean, because they
The
voted.
budget assumes $1.13 tax rate is what for the many different steps that go.
So I guess I'm just trying to be clear with the people that are voting. I guess if the vote went the same as the previous vote, it still passes. But if they wanted to not vote for it for whatever reason, they could, it's not gonna hurt anything like that. Does that make sense what I'm asking?
It does.
Yes, it does. It's gonna pass. If this fails to pass, then your budget would still exist, but we wouldn't have the tax rate set at this, so we'd have to
Go back, so, okay. Is everybody clear as mud on that? Okay.
You want to do a roll call on this one?
Is there any discussion on this? I mean, there really shouldn't be, because it was all in the previous. Yeah, we'll do a roll call again, just to be safe.
Harmon,
No.
Barker,
Yes.
Jeff McKee,
No.
Brooks,
No.
Harry McKee,
Yes.
Biggs,
No.
Wissman, your tax rate's about to fail.
I know. So that means the budget just failed.
I still got heartburn on raising taxes. I really do.
So, so I guess before I vote, I guess I need to know parliamentary, where do we go from here? Because then this goes back to where we start all over in the budget, we got to do a continuation budget. And then
Tax rate.
It stays at $1.28.
it stays at $1.28, and is that the way it works?
No, that would be if you didn't have a budget, you'd have a continuation budget. If you have a budget approved, you don't have a tax rate, so we have to set a tax rate, so if you have a budget approved. So you can have a motion, if this fails, a motion to set a tax rate, whatever the tax rate is,
You can't survive with
budget would
that.
have to be retroactive
You're gonna have one.
So,
to work with that tax rate.
all right, I'm trying to think parliamentary wise, because where does this set us back going to another meeting now? Because now we gotta either start over.
No, you have to vote on a tax rate tonight.
I know that's what I'm saying, so if somebody, so if my vote right now, it fails, either way.
That's right.
So, can we vote on it again tonight, I guess parliamentary wise, or can we? Okay,
And then staff would request that you tell us where you want the budget cut, or, I mean,
Yeah, two
depends on what you propose as the tax.
well, let me, since we have to do it tonight, so I'll go ahead and make my vote,
If you have a.
unless somebody wants to change their vote before
Can I ask a
then.
question
You have a
first
motion
before
to
you?
reconsider.
Yes,
Before the meeting's closed, there can be a motion to reconsider. We bring back the original motion, which is the second reading of this ordinance for this tax rate of $1.13. There can be a motion to, set a tax rate, of a new tax rate, if it got a first and a second.
okay, I got a question on the motion to reconsider, does it have to be somebody on the prevailing side? So, if I vote no, I can make a motion to reconsider.
Can I ask a question first, though?
Before I make my vote, go ahead.
If, the only way to keep from having a tax increase would be go to $1 then, right?
The certified rate, that's
That's right. Isn't that correct?
correct.
Okay.
It also has to be noted that even if you adopt the certified tax rate, some people's taxes will still increase because their assessed value increased.
Yes.
So adopting that $1 does not guarantee that every taxpayer in Arlington's taxes are frozen where they were last year.
Exactly. All right, so let me go ahead and vote. This wasn't my original vote, but let me go ahead and vote no on this.
5 no, 2 yes, motion fails.
No, it was 4 and 3, no.
2, 3,
4.
4, 5 no.
No, you made
I made
five.
5, that's right, I made 5, all right, yeah. So, all right, so that's our agenda, but I'd like to make a motion to reconsider. Because we gotta have a discussion, huh?
A second.
Second by Mr. McKee.
How many reconsiders? Is there a limit on how many reconsiderations? Okay.
Right, the motion to reconsider was mayor,
Mm-hmm.
and the second was McKee.
Vice Mayor McKee.
Thank you.
All right, discussion. This is to reconsider the adopting the certified tax rate. So I didn't know it was gonna quite go like that because, I mean, we approved a budget and then we just denied the tax rate. So
Can
we
I say
just-
something?
Yes.
The budget with what they proposed to us with our options, which Jeff has talked about, with the $1.10, there wasn't anything cut out of the budget. So to me, the budget passed, now we're setting the certified tax rate. It's, you know, I
What do you
mean,
nothing was cut? The budget was,
the expenditures in what they proposed to us at $1.13 and $1.10, the expenditures were the same.
no.
Yeah, they were,
Why would it be the same if it was?
because we were gonna pay
We
some,
did
for
not
some of the
cut
equipment.
Additional items from the budget to take it
To $1.10, yeah, so nothing,
We
so,
continue to propose the $1.13.
and they really wanted $1.16. We cut from $1.16 to $1.13. We told them to cut that, and
We
at the
started
last,
out at $1.21.
yes, and at the last meeting, I said, if anybody has any cuts or wants to make any motions, they need to make those now. Nobody made any motions, nobody said, I mean, you may have
Because-
personally wanted cuts, but nobody said, I'll make a motion that I want to pay for this out of reserves, or I want to do this out of this. Nobody made a motion, so staff had no direction after the last meeting except for to come back with the $1.13. Again, here we are,
Well, they did
eighth
have
meeting.
some direction, because I voted no.
And I think
Well, a vote no doesn't necessarily change it. You have to make a motion and give direction. You can vote no
I've
on
had
it.
I've had plenty of meetings with staff. I've had plenty of meetings
I
with
know,
staff.
but unless something is made at a board level with a motion and a second and it's voted on, if the majority was already going a certain direction, then that's the direction that staff goes. Because otherwise, they got 7 different people telling them 7 different things about how they want it to be.
May I clarify?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, I think what Mr. Biggs is trying to say is he expected to see the reduced, expenditure side. What we left you with last time, first reading, was, that we as staff are making a unified, unified presentation to you that $1.13 is as low as we're comfortable going. And I think we left you with any further cuts have to come from you. Adopting the budget is your responsibility. The audit is your responsibility, the budget is your responsibility. If you cut from $1.13 to $1.10 or all the way down to $1, then you have to tell us, if we're gonna take in less revenues, where do you want the expenses cut to equal that? So it's not just about what you wish the tax rate to be set at, you also have to give us some direction on where we're cutting expenditures. So that's where you are right now.
And I will emphasize again, my feelings on that is, so, the audit, June 21st, or June 2021 audit, local sales tax was $800,000 more than what we budgeted. 2022, it was 900,000. 2023 is 1.1 million, and the last, audit we had was 600,000. So to me, that's what I've kind of said all along. It's not about cutting anything. It's about putting less money in reserves. We put money in reserves every year. So it's not about, you know, that's just my feelings on it, is the budget that passed, the total expenditures, to me, I don't have a problem with that. I don't want to cut any of it. It's just adjusting how we estimate our revenues.
But when we put money in reserves, we put it for some reason. It's just like the fire department or the town hall or the equipment. So we don't have to make a loan. That's 4 years ago, that was our big kick, not to make loans and get rid of what we had. But to do that, you've got to put money in reserve, and you got to put in a designated fund.
And we have expensed some out of ours. We're below our policy right now. And we have been, and I think Mrs. Owens has explained it, the last several years, we had, a lot of that was COVID money, grant money, things that come in and aren't always, it's not budgeted for it. It just happens to fall in the budget. Sometimes it could fall in the previous year. Sometimes it takes 2 years. So there's not a projected in this, nowhere in this budget is there anything that's projected to put money into reserves, correct, Mrs. Owens?
None.
So that's what I'm saying, and and a lot of that is what I was just talking about, the department heads, if chief gives back 85,000, Terry gives back 250,000, sewer gives back, 300, all of a sudden you got $800,000 or whatever in savings. And because they did a good job and they're being punished now by putting money back in reserves.
Always punish, you know?
No, I'm saying, but if that's what you're going off of with the reserves, we don't budget.
I'm just saying.
We don't
when I'm
budget
talk-
to put money in reserves.
I'm talking about our revenues. We've not been accurate with projecting our revenues. We've been very, very conservative. And when you're going to the taxpayers and you're saying, we're gonna raise your taxes, that's the time to try to be more accurate. So that you kind of minimize how much you're having to raise people's taxes. And when we had our work session, the one option that was up there that was $1.10 is still a 10-cent increase in taxes. It's not like anybody's up here talking about cutting taxes. It's not even like talking about maintaining the taxes where we are. We're still talking about raising taxes at $1.10.
Because again, 8 meetings into this, I think we've explained it well why. It's not like this things cost the same. So, again, staff recommended $1.16. We cut that down $260-something thousand, I guess, by pulling out of reserves. If the penny's 86,000. We cut it down 3 cents. And I'll be honest, it's kind of disturbing to be here tonight. I remember last month asking twice, does anybody want to make a motion to give staff any different direction? And nobody did. And so now we've got staff sitting here again, we've got everybody sitting here, and we're about to have somewhat of a continuation budget, I guess. Or we sit here tonight until we figure this out. Sorry, ACS.
Gerald, can we make a motion to, it was staff's option. We could pull up the option that they showed us that was at $1.10. Can somebody make a motion to adopt that?
Yes.
That, what they presented to us?
Your budget would be out of balance.
It wouldn't, if you looked at what they talked about, taking some money out of reserves for some of the equipment. And like I said, and this is the other thing that just, the very last audit we had took in $2 million more than we spent. If you spend money out of reserves, let's say you spend $300,000 out of reserves, and at the end of the year you put $600,000 in reserves, you did not take anything out of reserves. Reserves still increase.
So
I don't think there was a $1.10 budget presentation.
we talked about it at the work
No,
session.
that-
No, there wasn't a
The
presentation.
$1.10 was up there.
No.
No,
but there
it,
was
it
not a
showed
budget.
$1.16,
Yeah.
and then we talked about
What to
whatever
get-
that dollar value was that was in CIP, in taking it and using reserves to keep it at $1.10.
Yeah.
So they didn't have a $1.10
No,
proposal.
they didn't have a budget.
That was us saying.
Yeah, but that was an
here's-
option.
that-
It was a-
Well, it showed what the CIP revenues were gonna need, expenditures were gonna be at $1.16, right? I believe that's correct.
That's true.
Britt. You may not remember,
The thing
Brittany, it's
is,
okay.
yeah,
It's
$1.10
We
is it's still a
presented-
tax increase, like you said. $1.13 is
It
a tax
is.
increase. So
It is.
What was our
you're either
tax
voting for a tax
increase 4
increase or you're
years
not.
ago?
I
How much
think
did we
that's the
increase 4 years
clarification we
ago?
need.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
Ms.
think that's the
Jones?
clarification we need is, I'll be honest, the tax rate of $1.13 passed 5 to 2 last month, and so we kept it the same and presented it the same way tonight. You would need to make a motion to whatever you want that tax rate to be. When we were at the work session, we showed you 4 different tax rates and what it would do to your expense side. And it would cut all of your capital projects, and even your street aid funding at $1.10, which would make you dip into your reserves even further if you were to approve all of those items.
But I'm not trying to be,
Keep in mind, there's already a
Difficult.
motion on the table.
Yeah.
I know, there's a motion, we would have to amend the motion to do that. But,
Yes.
motion to reconsider, so from
That's
there,
all
all right, so let's go back to the parliamentary process again. The motion to reconsider,
Motion to reconsider whether we can reconsider and read only.
so do we have to vote on the motion to reconsider?
Yeah, we're actually getting a little off topic.
Okay, so we need to go to the motion,
Get into the discussions about-
we need to go to the motion to reconsider, then go back to adopt the motion.
Like you've already-
Okay, all right, so let's go ahead, we need to vote.
If we want to get into discussions about the tax rate or not, we need to approve
We need to vote on the motion to reconsider. All right, so I guess we need a roll call vote on the motion to reconsider, because we have a motion and a second.
I have a motion from the mayor, second from vice mayor. Motion to reconsider tax rate, second final reading ordinance 2025-05, Harmon.
Okay, this is to, so that we can.
Go back and talk about the tax rate.
Okay, yes.
Walker.
Is you,
This allows us to go back and reopen the discussion about the tax.
Yes.
Yeah, we kind of got in front of ourselves, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Jeff McKee.
yes, ma'am.
Brooks.
Yes, ma'am.
Harry McKee.
Yes.
Biggs.
Yes.
Wissman.
Yes. All right, so that item passed. So now we go back and we have to have a motion for we got the motion for reconsider. We got to go back and
Actually reconsider.
vote on item C again, which item C is the second and final reading of ordinance 2025-05 to adopt the Town of Arlington, Tennessee actual tax rate for 2025.
If there was an amendment in this to change the tax rate, you could, for I think for clarification purposes, what's what may have been asking was, this is set at $1.13. If you would want to change the tax rate as opposed to voting down the tax rate, an amendment would be a proper motion to amend.
The motion as amended in here, or it's either as is $1.13, or you have to make a motion and have it amended to whatever number.
To whatever rate.
And if it's anything other than $1.13, we're gonna have to reconsider the budget.
We have to go back and vote on that.
Higher or lower, so that the budget would not be out of balance.
So, all right, so you've heard the recommendation, or you've heard the explanation. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion? To reconsider, we're back to motion of the second
Motion
and
to
final reading.
reconsider.
We're not reconsidering, we're
The
motioning,
13.
we're motioning to set the tax rate, second and final reading of ordinance 2025-05.
Right.
So, you got Mr. Vice Mayor McKee's motion,
Second.
second by Mr. Barker. Back to discussion.
Who made the motion? Who made the?
Vice Mayor McKee and second was Barker. Discussion.
You can have discussion, you can have a vote on the $1.13, or there can be a motion to amend the $1.13 to a different amount. That's basically three options.
No discussion?
No discussion.
We're back
I'll
to, we're
make
back
a
to
mo-
voting on
I'll make a
$1.
motion to amend it to $1.10.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. McKee. So now we're on the motion to amend, which we'll have to vote on. So in this, there needs to be some direction as to why we're doing it to $1.10.
And that can be the discussion now that we got.
That could be the discussion now.
At $1.10, just what I say, it's still a tax increase.
Yeah. So,
Ms. Brittany, sorry to break your stride on calculating.
can you
Is
speak
there-
up a little louder?
Sorry, is there a way to pull up, I don't know if you have that slide.
I do. I have all kind of stuff.
I'm
So
sure,
you wanna
I'm
see
sure.
I told her to be prepared.
the $1.10 sign?
Is there a way to pull up that 116 slide that we had the conversation at the work session? And I don't know what happened to our screens.
I think
but
I think they just.
Oh,
it's all-
okay.
I think,
Thank you.
and I remember, if I remember correctly, we had that, but the majority of the cut on the $1.16, there were several capital things, if I remember, but we also said not the majority, but I think 2 to 3 cents of it was going to be street aid.
And
correct.
I think you're right, but I wanted to see it because it's been 2 months.
Run to the restroom.
So at $1.10, we would need to cut $432,987 from where we are today.
Because
From
it changes,
$1.13.
because it changes the penny when we.
That changes your revenue.
It
It
changes your
changes your, your penny changes
Yeah,
per
so
value.
$432,987 is the amount that you would need to tell us what you want cut.
So 3 cents equals that much?
Because when you, every
Well-
time you change, you go down, the penny value
I mean,
changes.
that's the answer. So
Yeah.
3 cents, so a penny is,
If you go to 110, it's it would equal out to 486.
It's not as simple as just saying 3 pennies at 86,000. You have to
Yeah.
recalculate your certified tax rolls at $1.10 times your collection rate, enter it into your spreadsheet, and then go that way. So at $1.10, that makes your penny worth. Get this up and I'll plug it right back in. Sorry.
While you're looking that up, does anybody remember what the certified tax rate was 4 years ago? $1.15. What did we approve? $1.28. That's 13 cents if I'm not mistaken. Same as this time.
At $1.10, your penny goes to 83,926.
83 what?
So sorry, I didn't.
Oh.
83,926.62. This is your $1.10, which is your 432,986 we would need to cut. This was the $1.16, which was your penny at 88,500. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh,
You're fine.
terrible.
You're fine.
No, it's just spilled water. She's-
I know, but it's water. It's fine.
So go back to $1.10, please.
Was $1.10 even on the slide?
It was, yes,
Okay.
sir. So sorry, just give me 1 second, let
But
me
the entire budget expenses.
This is your $1.10, so it tells you what your revenue would be, and then we would,
And then go to $1.13, please.
I don't have the $1.13 on
Okay.
this presentation, just give me a second.
So.
Because it was
when you-
$1.16 then.
It was
Yeah.
$1.16 during this work session, yes, sir.
Okay, so the 432,000 is from $1.16.
No, sir, it's from $1.13 to $1.10.
The revenues, you just showed them for $1.16 was 18.4 million. And the revenues for $1.10 are 17.9 million.
18,391, 899 was $1.16,
18.4.
and $1.10
It's 18.
is 17,958 is
So
your
how
revenue.
So if the difference between $1.16 and $1.10 is $500,000 in revenue, how is the difference between $1.13 and $1.10?
Because if you
$432,000.
remember, we had added money back to street aid from the proposed 116. When we changed it from 116 to 113, you had an increase in street aid revenue transfer.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, you said that to go to $1.13 to $1.10, we'd have to cut an additional $432,000.
Yes, sir.
But to go from $1.16 to $1.10 is only 500,000 difference in revenues. That doesn't make sense.
I know I need it because I've got all this stuff. I gotta pull all my notes out. Sorry.
Because some of it went back into straight aid.
I'm talking about the revenues. The revenues at $1.16 are 18.4 million. The revenues at $1.10 are 17.9 million. That's right up there.
Your revenues at $1.13 is 18,192,059.
18 million and what?
18.1.
192,059.
I think, I don't know if this is what he's asking. I think he's asking how come the revenue changes with.
No, what I'm saying is, when you say to go from $1.13 to $1.10, that we have to cut an additional $432,000, The revenue difference is 300,000, not 432,000.
I recommend that we have a recess, interim for about 10 minutes, OA staff,
Sure.
and get some of this
Agreed.
information together.
Can we move to recess? We got a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barker.
Second.
Second. Any objection? All right, we'll recess for 10 minutes. 6:50. Everybody.
No, I just need a minute to get my numbers together.
You threw me off there.
It's 192.
This turned out interesting.
Huh?
I said, this turned out interesting.
I've been in a many of them.
Michelle asked me, well, what do you want me to fix you before you, to eat before you go? I said, it's gonna be a short meeting.
Gonna be short. You can say.
I said, it's gonna be short, we already know what everybody's
It
doing.
almost was.
I was feeling frisky. I was gonna vote no, because I wanted $1.16, but I said that too.
Harry, you gonna tax me out of it?
Look here, you know how it should be? It should be that you can only sell your house for a percentage of the money that you make on it.
Yeah. You got some trucks, whatever it is. And then at the end of the year, they're gonna put it back anyways.
Really? It won't be true. Terry's, it needs to be $3 million in 3 days just on repairs. If you want to be like you were before, 4 years ago, you're the one that made the motion to go up.
Yeah, and we did, and we spent a lot on.
And now he's going to be able to do half what
What
he
you,
used to.
what you keep wanting to focus in on is the expenses, they need this money. What I'm saying is,
You know what we need to be doing with that extra money in reserve, we need to be putting it in for a $32 million town hall that we voted on.
we never voted on
We voted on to buy the property for it. And we voted $500,000 to spend on architectural.
we never voted on a $32 million town.
Architectural.
And when they,
And engineering.
and in that meeting, when they presented it to us, and they said it was $28 million.
Well, maybe it was 28.
It was 28, and I said, I'm like, no. You know what Gerald told me?
But we know.
You know what Gerald said in that meeting?
This ain't
I said,
funny. This is the only thing we're gonna have to come from tree day. That's where it's about to come.
Yes. He said yes.
Not unless you
It
save
was
the
gonna, it was
money.
gonna be $1 million.
The only way you can do it. The only way
They
you can do
wanted
it.
to take out a loan for 40 years. It was gonna be $1 million
What's 251,000?
a year. And I said, can we do this outright?
Whatever they do with the town hall, I think
That's why we got it based on the $1.16 penny.
We had been.
I got that.
Here's the thing.
Remember, the penny changes every time.
If we put in $2 million in our last
It's
audit
going down.
into reserves, that was the last audit. It's in the audit. You can read it. We put 2 million. So why not put in 1.5 million instead of 2 million?
All right, then, and if you, longer it takes you to build that, you double the price.
I will never vote for $30 million.
That's why you voted for the $2 million.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. You know exactly why I did it.
The words I told him was when you put in to deal this, you forget about a new deal.
They weren't smart with that.
They wa- that's why I wanted to add on to the public works, because it's gonna have to be.
Yeah.
Mr. Biggs,
Hi, Jeremy. Nice to meet you. Appreciate you coming up here.
I just wanted to get worried a little bit.
Yeah.
Where do you work?
I work for Mercer Insurance. I'm a risk management consultant.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You live on Campbell?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
live on
so you-
Campbell too?
No. But you got you got the cars coming up and down the road.
Like airplane, man, used to be when I first moved up there, 1 or 2 a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's amazing. I moved here in 2005, and I think maybe there was maybe 7,000 people or something like that. Now there's 15,000.
Yeah, when I first moved here, we had like 2,500, and 18 of them were out here at the Arlington Development.
I hear you. Nice meeting you, sir.
You're not leaving, are you? No. He's a good guy.
He said Campbell, and I'm thinking Ford Street.
No, Campbell.
Campbell is right in the old part of town, right? It's just right in the middle.
Yep.
So people speed on Campbell?
And speed on all of them. I thought he said Chester first, though.
Oh, that's where the church across. Okay, I know
He
which
said
one.
Chester. He said Campbell.
He said Campbell. I think that's what I said.
He can freeze his taxes. I put that in years ago.
How
Town
old
of
are
Arlington.
you?
What, same as Shelby County, 62, I think.
Oh, 62. I don't know if I'll make it that long.
What's that? Did you talk to her? No, I didn't catch her. No?
Oscar likes to get spicy every now and then.
Hey, I got a ribbon cutting at 11:30 tomorrow, guys.
Where?
I mean, I just want to be out in time for that.
What
It's
is it?
Zach Thomas's place.
Oh, that new spa thing?
I think he made a mistake leaving where he did. He used to have people showing up there for other reasons.
Yeah. Well, and people mindful of their health, going there for going. Did he have a choice in leaving?
Oh, yeah, they didn't ask him to leave.
Really?
I asked Scott about it,
Oh, really?
and he said, I think he's making a mistake, but that's what he said.
Wow.
And I don't know any reason why. I didn't talk to Zach, nothing, I have not. No, I just didn't think I needed to, you know.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, I need to let her know. Who? Still with the doctor. I know you and that didn't go. Come on.
Did y'all understand, we got an amendment,
This is exactly the same one we got a vote in 4 years ago without discussion, without one word being said. Look here. Hey, look, did you want to show you what you said? You withdraw yourself. Within the range of numbers I had at you. Look, we just got this. That's all.
So, all right, let's see, is everybody, all right, so recess is over, so do I have a motion to continue?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barker. Second by Mr. Biggs. So we are back on the motion to amend
We're on the main motion with an amendment with a
$1.10.
first and a second.
Second. First by Mr. Biggs,
Second by Mr.
and that's to go to $1.10.
And after speaking with Gerald, I'm retracting my second.
So we only have a motion for the second to go to $1.10. Is there, so right now we have a motion by Mr. Biggs, but no second. Is there a second?
Fails for lack of a second, we're back on the main motion, that's $1.13.
Fails for lack of a second. Back on the main motion of $1.13. Discussion, again, if there's, I mean, staff, I mean, Mrs. Owens, I'm sorry, because I know she's having trouble connecting to some Wi-Fi, and she's trying to pull up a lot of information here that's kind of hard to pull up at the last minute. So, so we're back on the main motion. Is there any other discussion, or since we didn't have a motion to $1.10, so we're still in the main motion of $1.13. If there's no more discussion, we can go ahead and vote again and see where it goes. Is that where we are? Roll call, please.
Roll call on the main motion, second final reading ordinance 2025-05 to adopt the town of Arlington, Tennessee's actual tax rate for 2025. This is at $1.13. Alderman Harmon.
No.
Alderman Barker.
Yes.
Alderman Jeff McKee.
No.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman, Vice Mayor Harry McKee.
Yes.
Alderman Biggs.
No.
Mayor Wisman.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 yes, 3 no.
That item passes. We don't have any other motions. I know that was kind of a complex scenario that we haven't had like that before, so I appreciate everybody's patience, and I respect everybody's input. So just, I know it gets kind of confusing, and that one kind of threw me for a little loop there, so. And yeah, any other, anything else, Mrs. Owens? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. McKee, second by Mr. Barker. Any objection? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Hey, Michael,
My potatoes.
good luck with that article.
You know what?
Yeah.